The year is 2067, and Earth is barely hanging on. Climate change has left it in ruins, and all plant life is long gone. With no plants to produce oxygen, breathable air is now a luxury, only available in artificial tanks. Those who can't afford it suffocate, while 99% of the planet has plunged into darkness and silence. Only one city in Australia survives, kept alive by a massive corporation called Chronocorp, which produces synthetic oxygen. But this oxygen comes with a price. It causes a deadly disease known as the sickness. Humanity is hanging by a thread, with only a few years left to live. Ethan White, a mechanic at Chronocorp, works alongside his best friend, Jude. His wife, Xantha, has the sickness, so Ethan pushes himself to earn as much as possible, desperate to buy her the best oxygen he can. Then one day, while he and Jude are working in the tunnels, they're summoned by Regina Jackson, Chronocorp's CTO of particle research. She cuts straight to the point. If something doesn't change, humanity is doomed. But she tells Ethan that he might be the only one who can change things and save everyone. Though confused and skeptical, Ethan follows her to the lab, where he meets Dr. Billy Mitchell. After taking a quick look at Ethan's wrist device, Dr. Mitchell explains that Ethan's father, Dr. Richard White, began a project here 2 decades ago. The massive machine they're standing in front of, a time machine called the Chronicle. The first test they ran involved sending radio waves through it to see what might be waiting on the other side. In 2067, scientists discovered that 407 years in the future, in the year 2474, the Earth would have recovered enough vegetation to produce sufficient oxygen for human life. The existence of plant life centuries ahead gave people hope, making them believe that future humanity must have solved the crises that now threaten extinction. But then, something strange happened. The radio waves they'd sent through the machine returned, altered. When decoded, the message was clear: send Ethan White. Now, Regina and her team want Ethan to travel to the future and bring back a cure for the sickness. Ethan, shocked and skeptical, accuses Regina of bluffing. He can't imagine leaving his sick wife behind, so he refuses. Later, Ethan and Jude sit in a diner, buying clean oxygen. Jude tries to convince him to take the chance and save humanity, but Ethan scoffs. He's haunted by his father's legacy. Dr. Richard White vanished 20 years ago while working on the Chronicle, leaving Ethan feeling abandoned and bitter. After Ethan's mother died, Jude became like a brother to him, his only family. Ethan's resentment runs deep. He doesn't want to follow in his father's footsteps or abandon Xantha. But Jude points out that going to the future might be the only way to save her. Memories flash back to Ethan's 8th birthday, when his father gave him a strange box. When Ethan reached inside, a device latched onto his wrist, piercing his skin. It has been there ever since, but its purpose remains unknown. Back home, Ethan tells Xantha about the day's events. Despite his hesitation, she insists he should go. The next morning, Ethan leaves a metal flower beside her with the word, "I will find my way back to you," etched into it, a promise to return. He heads to Regina's office with one condition. The first cure he finds must go to Xantha. Regina agrees, and they bring him to the lab, where Dr. Mitchell presents him with a specialized suit for the mission. But as they explain his task, Ethan realizes they have no solid plan. The team has no idea what Ethan will find on the other side. They suit him up and give him an AI device called Archie, which monitors his vitals and guides him. Then they send him through the time machine. Ethan speeds through time, landing in a lush jungle. His suit catches fire from the friction, so he removes it quickly and marvels at the vibrant, oxygen-rich world around him. Following Archie's directions, he stumbles upon a bunker door with a skeleton outside. The skull has a bullet hole and the name tag shocks him. It's his own name. He finds the skeleton's Archie and plays its last recording, hearing a man say, "This is the only way," followed by a gunshot. Stunned, Ethan fears this is his fate. He notices the skeleton's wrist device glows green, unlike his own, which has always been red. That night, he eats some wild berries, only to find they're poisonous. He passes out and wakes to see Jude, who was sent to save him. Despite Jude's arrival, Ethan's skeleton remains, meaning his fate is unchanged. They continue, finding another door that scans Ethan's eye and grants access. Inside, a monitor requests a DNA sample. His wrist device activates, turning green as it takes his blood. The lights reveal they're in Chronocorp's lab, 407 years in the future. Jude thinks they can use the time machine to return, but Ethan doubts it will change his fate. He finds a hologram of his father, explaining that the time machine was meant to gather future oxygen data, but he received a message instead, asking him to send Ethan. Ethan's father set up a DNA lock, allowing only Ethan to activate the lab. Ethan and Jude then realize the time machine won't work, as it's nearly out of power after 407 years. Worse, they've triggered a nuclear core malfunction, leaving them 4 hours before it explodes. Outside, they find a ruined city overrun by plants but filled with skeletons. Proof Earth is recovering post-humanity. At Xantha's house, Ethan discovers her remains, crushed. Jude urges him to return to the past, insisting the cure doesn't exist. But Ethan replays the old Archie recording, recognizing Jude's voice as his future killer. Jude denies it, but Ethan focuses on fixing the machine. They make repairs and wait 37 minutes for the portal back to 2067, which will open for 30 seconds. When he still finds his future remains, Ethan swaps batteries on the Archies and sees a video confirming Jude as his killer. Jude admits he believes escape is hopeless. Shocked, Ethan locks Jude away and watches his father's last log, learning that Regina, Chronocorp's CTO, only wanted the time machine to escape with a chosen few. His father locked the machine to Ethan's DNA to ensure it could save humanity, not just the elite. The CTO, furious at Ethan's father, killed him instantly and ordered Jude to kill Ethan's mother and pose as his guardian to one day access the future through Ethan's wristband. Ethan, horrified, realizes Jude, his supposed brother, killed his mother and will soon kill him. He also understands his father didn't abandon him but tried to protect him. Knowing the CTO plans to bring only an elite few to the future, Ethan tries to shut down the machine, but Jude stops him, admitting he's there to ensure Ethan fixes the power core, then kill him. Guilt-ridden by their bond, Jude turns the gun on himself, ending his life. Determined to fulfill his father's mission, Ethan finds his father's first message and realizes he's the one who must send it. Send Ethan White. He codes it in and transmits it back along with data and plant samples. In 2067, as the CTO and her select group await the machine's activation, they're shocked to receive hundreds of plants and a recording of Ethan's father's murder. The CTO's plan collapses, and she is arrested for murder. The plants are cultivated, revitalizing Earth, and Xantha receives a flower from Ethan, understanding his sacrifice. In the future, Ethan buries Jude, forgiving him. A butterfly leads him to the bunker door, where he notices his skeleton is gone. Outside, he sees a futuristic, eco-friendly city. His choice had changed humanity's future. The end.